And we are live. Karibuni sana to the second edition of the webinar series in 2026. We are going to continue from where we left off in the previous one. Dawn Marie will now take us into the how of marketing. As a brief recap, in the first edition, we had Hag taking us through the what of marketing, what it is, the theoretical aspects of marketing. And so this follow-up should now hopefully be interesting to you as she gives you strategies and tactics on how to conduct marketing. With that, I'll ask her to reintroduce herself and then take us the webinar. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the comment box, and then I shall direct them to Dawn as and when necessary. Welcome, Dawn. Take it away.
Thank you, Eric. Good evening, everyone. For the Catholics, do we say happy Ash Wednesday or sad, because we are supposed to be kind of sad and hungry? Sorry. Ramadan, happy Ramadan. What do we say? Ramadan Mukarim to our Muslim brothers and sisters. It's a special day, yeah? We have Ash Wednesday, beginning of Lent, and Ramadan coinciding, starting at the same time. So I believe in our offices, no more, we will all fast. Those who have to fast, then we'll drop in all the others who are non-Catholics and non-Muslims, they also join. Maybe they just fast to lose weight. So anyway, I'm excited to be here today to present this to you. I love marketing, especially marketing for professional services. And I'd love to see everybody doing their marketing well. It makes me happy when actually I see people getting marketing correct. So yes, as Eric said, last time we handled part 1, and I felt it was important for us to understand what exactly marketing is before now I go to telling you how to do marketing for your professional services, because there's normally a lot of misconceptions. So today's agenda, it is 2 things. It is the marketing plan, so marketing planning, how you do it, and then the execution part. I'm sure most of you are likely more interested in the execution part because that's the real thing, right? That's what we think. So we'll see as we go through the presentation today. So the agenda has 2 points: the marketing planning and the execution. And just allow me to just go back to run through what we did last time. So last time we did the definition of marketing, general marketing, what it is, and to re-emphasize from the definitions I shared, it's about the customer and not so much about selling and not so much about you. It's about the customer and, of course, profitability thrown in as the bottom line for any business. Then we went through the principles of marketing, just knowing what the main elements or the pillars of marketing. When you're thinking marketing, what should you be thinking about? So we went through that. Then I took us through the challenges of marketing professional services. Of course, we all appreciate that there's fundamental differences in how you market products and how you market services, and more so professional services. So we went through also those unique challenges, and probably I believe I shared also how to overcome them, or what they mean, or the implications of the same. And then the common mistakes done by professionals in marketing, we ran through them. And finally, the terms that are commonly confused when it comes to marketing. And I hope now with that basis, or with that clarification, that what I am going to present today in terms of how to do marketing will be making a lot of sense. And again, I would want to re-emphasize that marketing is not selling. Selling is a component of marketing. So the reason why selling is considered difficult, or actually becomes difficult, it's because many companies, even for products, it's not limited to just professionals or services. Many times, companies, people, businesses will start with selling, while they should start by marketing. So a lot of mistakes are made along the way, a lot of misconceptions, a lot of things not working out. And that is really what makes selling hard, because marketing was not done well. But when marketing is done well, selling becomes pretty much easy. So we'll see how to make that selling easy. Okay, so right to what we are supposed to do, I'm supposed to share with you today. It's marketing for professional services. I had done the definition for marketing in general, but I believe after going through or appreciating the inherent differences or challenges of marketing for professional services, then you actually ask yourself, because I did ask myself that question once, or I ask myself every time, what is marketing for professional services really? And this particular definition, or my explanation for what marketing for professional services is something that I have coined because of making it practical. So I say marketing for professional services is the strategic process of making expertise visible, relevant, and trusted by the right clients so that they choose you and your firm with confidence. So think about when I talk about making your expertise visible. So you need to start from creating visibility. I'm sure most of you have heard this before, that marketing without advertising is like winking at a girl in the dark, at a beautiful girl in the dark, or whatever. Yeah, so basically, what advertising does is it creates visibility for you. So as a professional, you need to think, how are you making your expertise to be visible? Because at the end of the day, what do you sell? What is your product? If you're asked, what is the solution you're giving, or what are you selling? It's your expertise as a professional. So making it visible and relevant. Relevant because most of the time when clients come, of course, let me use, because I think generally when you talk of professional services, the easiest service or professional to think about is the lawyer. So when a client needs legal services, they will say, I want a lawyer. But there's so many things that a lawyer does. So if I come to you as a lawyer and I need representation in court for, maybe I hit someone in the road and maybe they died or whatever. Yeah, and so now I need legal representation. And then now you start telling me how you have a master's, you have attended I don't know how many conferences, you have been in the Kibitu Commission, I don't know who's. Is that relevant to me? No, I really don't care. I just want to know that you can represent me in my current legal matter. So yes, so creating relevance is important. Then entrusted, and creating relevance and trust. Because we shared in the last webinar, one of the key principles of the characteristics of professional services was that people, even organizations, bought that they went to professionals they trusted. Like, it took time to build trust. That is why people will seldom not talk to just one, say, lawyer, and be satisfied that this lawyer will serve me, unless, of course, maybe this is a family lawyer or they have been referred to by someone. So you see, what family lawyer does is that there's a trust that has been created. Reference, there's a trust also. And so I believe the person who's referred me to this person, so I trust they've given me they've given me the best reference that they have. So in absence of such kind of backgrounds, then you find that clients will have to, they'll do their own research. In engineer, one known, I don't know, architect, you know. So yes, so you have to really work on your trust as a professional. Then, of course, ultimately we want the client to choose us. And ultimately, we also want them to have confidence in us, because in your practices, you have found clients whom we call difficult. And normally that difficulty comes because of confidence. And it comes in various ways. Maybe you told me something, then along the way it changes. Maybe it's not even in your control. But now you need to work towards building that confidence. So everything that marketing is doing should do for you, should help you in that process of getting visibility, ensuring that you're relevant to the right clients, ensuring that you're getting trust where it's required. Obviously, that is to the right clients, making sure that the client chooses you, and after they choose you, making sure so that they have confidence in you, because I'm sure you know that if a client is not confident in you, it will be very difficult to execute. It's not like a product. I buy soap, I bathe, I don't like the smell, then I'm like, I can even just give it out and buy another one. It's difficult for professional services. Maybe I've paid consultation, maybe I've already paid the first deposit. It's my house, and you know, the foundation is already done. Then I'm seeing like this, the engineer who is working on my house, he has a problem. And so my confidence goes down. It really becomes difficult for even the engineer to deliver. So yes. And so the key characteristics then, therefore, of marketing of professional services, that you focus on trust, credibility, and reputation. Build around client problems and decision journeys, relevance. Don't build them around what you know, around what you have been, around what you know. Build it around clients' problems and decision journeys. And then I'll just touch on the decision journeys a little bit, what it really is. And then it relies on expertise, insights, and proof, and not hard selling. Maybe a pencil. when you get into a bus, there's this guy sometimes who comes and really sells his pencils. And once I bought those pencils and they're done that break, that is hard selling. It may work for the pencil, it's a small buy for me, but when it comes to professional services, it's a lot, because now it means maybe someone even, depending on how aggressive your client is, they might even go and report you to your professional body and you have issues. So yes. And then supports long sales cycles and high stake decisions. So especially if you're selling to corporates, I had mentioned in the last webinar that the decision-making unit, the people who make the decision to buy the service are many, there are more. And so there's a lot of vetting, a lot of back and forth. So your marketing should support that cycle. So let me just explain a little bit about what I've mentioned in point 2, the decision journeys. So generally, even if you think about it, there's a process you go through when you're going to buy a product or even a service. And normally in marketing, we coin it as the AIDA process, the process where a customer goes through in deciding to buy whatever it is. Even the very small ones, small purchases, of course, you go through the process very quickly. Bigger purchases, you go through the process longer and put a lot of intention and thought into it. So AIDA is AIDA. So the first A stands for awareness, and that is where advertising comes in and all that visibility thing comes in. Because one, you cannot buy, you can't buy what you're not aware of. If you are an architect and you're my friend, I didn't go to school with you, I just know you maybe from the church circles. I meet you in church every day, and you never tell me that you're an architect. I will not know. So that is part of creating awareness. And so you'll find that one day I need an architect, and I go and get someone from so far away, and yet you're right there. And yes, obviously, because I did not know. So awareness creation is the first step, and it's very, very key in every purchase process. And what you need to appreciate is that during the awareness point, it's not really that clients are buying then. So you shouldn't be tired. Awareness is like is a process where you get people walking into your office. So they come, oh, so what do you do? I'm looking for our Akili. Maybe I have this issue here and there. I saw your signpost, I saw your advert, I was referred to. That is the awareness stage. They hardly buy at that stage. But you need to nurture the client to move them to the next stage, which is interest. So once I know that I need these services from a surveyor, and I know XYZ is a surveyor, so the next step is interest. I have interest in him. So how do I see him carrying himself? What can we do? You see, you hear comments of like, can that person really do XYZ? And the way he dresses up, I don't know in what. Oh, no wonder he's able to do. No wonder he's so articulate when he talks about these matters. Now, interest. So now at that point, I start now choosing, why should I buy from this person? Why should I go to this person? What have I seen? What attributes is he or she displaying? And all that. And yes, so, and also at the interest point actually is where now you find, just like the awareness stage, the client is looking through so many possible service providers. And at that point, you also shouldn't get tired. I know for professionals, sometimes you give out so much information during those first two stages that you actually educate your client to go to somewhere else. So it's important to know that this client is at this stage, and this is what information I need to give them, and this is what I need to tell them. If you have to describe a process, probably just say what it is. Don't go into the nitty-gritties, because you don't want to educate your client enough to go and I would do, if I know this is the process that the process, for instance, that I need to use to maybe file my taxes, and yet I don't want to go through the process. I know the process. I will go to the cyber and tell this guy, go open that computer, do this. You know, if I didn't know the process properly, I'd go to the tax consultant because I'm not aware. So the challenge is create awareness enough not to give them the skill without transferring the skill. Then so that is the interest stage. So there's the decision now, where they make the decision to buy from you. And so that is where most of the time you'll find you're haggling a lot about the price, you're haggling a lot about the time it's gonna take, and not so the client is making. Even at that point, you need to know what activities or what information or what will you do to push them to the next point where now they take action. Of course, action is where you sign up, they sign up. And the action point is really the sales part, because selling basically closes the deal. Yeah, so basically the strategies or the plans, the execution are aimed to take the client through this decision, through the decision process. I'm sorry I didn't put it in this and explain it in the slides. I will just add it so that by the time the slides are being shared, then it's also there, so and explained so you can see. So what does marketing for professional services involves? It involves understanding I think we've gone through, by now you should already be able to note down, because I've really emphasized it in the last webinar and even now. So it involves understanding the client's needs and priorities. And then there is clear positioning and differentiation. I handled that last week. What is positioning? What is differentiation? And why it's important, it's because once your solution or your service is considered a commodity, anyone can give me this, then you are forced to most of the time negotiate on price. And every one of you wants a premium, to get a premium price. So you'll be taking away that premium price from yourself if you cannot differentiate and if you cannot position yourself strongly. So don't say that all services are the same. If services are the same, they are commodity services, then you need to spend the least time in delivering it. So these are the kind of services that we automate and do the DIYs, do it yourself, because it is the same everywhere. So you need to also just think about your service delivery. What can become a commodity service that people can do it on themselves, by themselves? Maybe that is now the things that you embed on your website, and so a client can do like maybe verifying something. You don't charge them, but it's part of the process of marketing yourself, and that it's a service or something that people can get at a very small cost and time. Yeah. And then it involves thought leadership and expertise visibility. So you must really showcase yourself deliberately if you are to get your premium clients. And then relationship development, it involves relationship development and client retention. So that we talked about trust, we talked about confidence. So this is really it. Relationship building is about building trust. Client retention is when the client is confident in you and they have trust in you, then they'll keep coming back to you, or they will not want to ditch you in the middle of delivery. What it is not just advertising or social media like FB and LinkedIn. So if all the marketing that you're doing is posting on LinkedIn or sponsoring ads or talking about yourself on FB or wherever, you need to think and see what else can you do around it. It's also not aggressive selling. Aggressive selling like moving door to door, ambulance chasing, sending emails, cold calling. It is not that. And then it is also not random promotion activity. Like one day you wake up and like, this event is happening in Nakuru, let me go and have a stand. That is so random, because highly likely that you'll get any return on your investment from it. So yes, so you really need to be deliberate about what you're doing to do marketing. So then, so how do you market your professional service? So number one, that is most important, that even the marketers themselves want to skip, even for products, is marketing planning. Begin with a plan. And having a plan will help you to now avoid what I call random acts of marketing. What I said is not randomly promoting and all that. Once you have a plan, then you're deliberate, then you're not doing anything random, and you're sure. So how do you plan? What really should you ask yourself in planning? So I've tried to simplify it so much that even after this, you can actually sit down and start doing a very small plan for yourself. So the first thing, your marketing plan, it does not exist in isolation. It exists within your overall business plan or your overall strategic plan. So your strategic plan will tell you, this is how much revenue I want to make this year. And I've said best planning period is 1 year. And that is really for almost everything. For even when you're doing financial planning, you're doing, it's 1 year, then maybe now 1 year short term, or even when it's less than 1 year, it's still 1 year, then you break it down per quarter or maybe per month. And also, if it's more than a year, of course, like your strategic plan, maybe it is, but it still starts with a year, then year 2, year 3. So 1 year is the best. And so first of all, you begin by asking yourself, how much revenue do I want, or I'm targeting to get? Then you ask yourself, what solutions do I want to offer, or can I offer? So you can be deliberate enough to say, what solutions do I want to offer? Because maybe now, when you ask yourself what I want to offer, you've probably looked at the market and you have seen these are the kind of solutions that people are looking for right now. Or these are the kind of services that are going to help me to get the revenue that I'm targeting this year. So you begin from there. And so basically what it means then after that, then you go back and check what can you do, what do you have, or what are you able to offer. On the other hand, you can also start by what can I offer? This is my expertise. I'm an expert in this, or this is what I really, really love doing. And so I really want to center my service offering around what I can do and what I love to do. So once you get to know what you want to do, the solutions you want to offer, allow me to use an example of a certified public accountant. So the certified public accountant, of course, can do many things. They can become an auditor, external auditor. They can become an internal auditor. They can be a tax consultant. They can be an accountant. They can be a specialist in mergers and acquisitions. You see that all those services. So you need to list. You don't have to pick one, but yes, you can check. So what do I want to offer? I want to offer accounting services. I want to offer tax services. I want to do this and this. Then next critical question in your plan is, who are going to be my customers? And when you're answering the questions of who are going to be my customers, you need to look back now into them. I want to offer tax services as a certified public accountant. But what do my customers need? They need monthly filing. They need their tax computations to be done. They need their books to be kept properly. So you need to list that also and be deliberate about it. Then from there now, you can now check. So if that is what they need, so there's what they need according to you, but there's what they want from the services. For instance, if you choose to offer tax services as a certified public accountant, so you've listed down, these people need monthly filing, they need tax computations for purposes of paying their income tax. So you go back and look. So for them to be able to do this, what do they really then therefore want? Maybe now you go talk to a client and you find a potential client, you find they don't even have an accountant, an in-house accountant. So their books are all over. Their financial records are all over. They're in receipts, they're in their fonts, on their M-Pesa. So what do you do? So you actually, at that point, you realize I cannot come and start telling them I'm going to file for them taxes, because they've not even kept their books and they've not done a calculation of what they're supposed to pay. So at that point, would you really, really say that now I am just filing, I can't do this accounting for you? You might actually have to start from that point or give someone else to do it if you don't want to do it. So you need to say, and you see now, if you come to tell a client that, so there's a catch here. Sometimes when you come to tell a client that I want to keep your books for you, so that I want to keep your books for you so that you can file your taxes, they'll tell you no. I have QuickBooks. I usually feed my own. I do my own. I give it the information, yes, and then so I have my books ready. But you know very well that is not what. That the information that you'll get from QuickBooks will not help you to file for them taxes. So what do? You don't start insisting on really, really telling them that now you need accounting services. You just tell them, okay, fine, I will file for you, and this is the process that I need to undertake to file for you. So I'll need to just review your books and all that. And so to review your books, I'll charge you this and this and this and this, That way now you're speaking to the clients what they want. But you have to go through that thought process when you're planning to understand that is how you're going to present your services. Then how much are they willing to pay? This is also key, because I'm sure you all don't want to be competing against price all the time. And so it's important to know what your clients are willing to pay. That those ones who are willing to pay a high price. And so if they're willing to pay a high price, what are they getting in return? So you need to know what are they willing to pay and for what. Very important. Then it's important to look at your competition. Who else is offering the same services as you? So it's good to list them down. Who is competing me? Is it the next door lawyer? Is it the most advertised lawyer? Is it even someone from another industry? I can see the issue that has come up after the LSK aspirants presentation the other day, when one of the aspiring president said that when he becomes president, immediately the accountants will not be able to represent clients at the tax tribunal. And he has said it's a whole debate we can see. So obviously, there is CPAs here and there is lawyers here. And you obviously know that for many services, you might find that clients get them from other professionals other than you. So it's also important when you're looking at who your competition is, don't concentrate on your nini only, on the people in the same profession as you only. Also check out what maybe someone else in another profession, people, or where else are they getting the services from people who are not exactly just like you. And then how have they packaged themselves? So that will also help you to know how to package yourself or position yourself. And then draw up your calendar. Drawing up the calendar is very important, because now when you're doing your calendar, you are indicating what are you going to do and when are you going to do it. It's important, because if you don't say the what are you going to do, when you're going to do it, then you're going back to random acts of marketing. So when you're drawing up your calendar, simply you can look at content sharing, which is very, very key. I will look at it's something that I'll cover in the execution part. So content sharing, where are you sharing your content? Your content is the one that creates awareness of who you are. It creates interest for people who want to buy from you. It helps them to make the decision. So online, that is the website or blogs, whatever. Social media, of course, LinkedIn for most professionals, YouTube. You can use TikTok also. I know TikTok has been taken up by the seemingly smaller and non-serious activities, but I know that if you use LinkedIn properly, it can become a good marketing tool. And if you're going to sell to the alphas and the last Gen Zs, then TikTok might actually be one of the medias you'll have to use. And then there's print media, like newspapers, magazines, publications, etc. So you need to know, where am I? What am I sharing? Where and when? Because it needs to be consistent. It needs to be timely, not random. And then the also important to draw is your calendar of events, of the ones you'll attend as a delegate. Which ones are you going for? Because who is there? Because what is it making you? When you attend events, of course, you know all the benefits that you're trying to get out of it. So are you going to attend it as just a delegate, or you're going to attend it as a thought leader? So thought leader, you're in a panel, you're giving a keynote, all that. And then there's also training. Training is also a very good avenue for marketing yourself, because you're basically showcasing what you are able to offer. Then once you've drawn up your calendar, the what and when you're going to do it, then you need to plan your tools. And your tools begin from yourself. How are you positioning yourself? What expertise do you need? What extra courses, maybe apart from your basic degree and maybe your CPA or any other professional course you have to do? What do you have to do? What do people want from a professional like you to make them buy from you? And then you plan, among your tools also there's your office or your online presence. So today's, of course, as I had mentioned, today you really, really don't need to have an office. There are so many people who are making money just by, they're doing their business just by having a good online presence. So how is it gonna look like? What is it having? And then you plan your positioning also. How are you going to position yourself? What are you going to say? Yeah, so that is basically what your plan should have. It's more intricate for bigger firms, and I would actually say this is the point where many professionals would actually need support in, because one, planning is not the funnest thing to do, and you also need to be planning from a point of knowledge. What am I planning for? So when developing the plan, there are a lot of things that are considered, but even with this, on your own, if you're a small practice or an individual, or you're starting out, and of course the resources is an issue, you can at least do something basic out of this. So how to execute? So emphasis again on customer centric. The principle is start with the customer, not the firm. Always look at what the customer wants, who they are, what they're willing to pay, what solutions are they looking for, what is motivating them, what are their problems, what are the risks of serving them, how do they make the decision to buy? Does the whole family have to be involved? Does a spouse have to be involved? Does the entire organization from CEO to head of finance to head of marketing have to be involved in purchasing of this service? So you really need that helps you to decide how you're going to package or reach out to your customers. And then segment clients by needs and not by services offered. There is the temptation to say, like, a corporate lawyer. That is, you've taken a segment by the services that you offer. That I offer corporate. My services, I don't really serve individual customers. I serve corporates. But what exactly do corporate need from legal services? So it's important to know, to just break them down by that. So if you're a corporate lawyer, you can decide and say, I am going to be doing contracts for maybe people in the payment industry, because now those are their needs. They need their contracts to be developed. They need their contracts to be reviewed. In fact, you'll find it easier to sell that way than coming to say, I am a lawyer and I offer corporate legal services. It's so general. So how do you do that? Market around client challenges. Look at what the challenges they are facing. Is it regulatory risk, maybe? Is it they're trying to grow? Is it compliance? Like today, if you look at maybe digital service lenders, these people who lend to, okay, no, what you know, the Akina who, trying to see the most common, Tala, the guys who give loans, and they have a lot of issues with compliance with data protection. And it's for them, it was their business model that to make sure, because they're lending at risk, at high risk, to make sure that you pay their loan back, they will involve all your friends and all your family. But the law says that you're infringing on the rights. So instead of going to tell them that, instead of when selling to them or marketing to them, you say that I offer data protection, or I'm a corporate lawyer in general, you need to come down and probably say, I specialize, or I can help you to reach out to your clients, reach out to your defaulting clients in a way that is compliant with the Data Protection Act. That, okay, it's a mouthful, but it actually helps them to see their pain, understand their mistake, and then now they come to you. You see, other than say, I am a data protection lawyer. In fact, the first thing they'll think about is, this one is coming to set me up now with the data protection people. I don't want. So when you're packaging your services, you really need to think around customer. What do they want to hear? What will you tell them? What are the risks they are having? What are the solutions they are looking for? Value creation before capture. So show them the value you're delivering before you ask them to pay you for it. And this is normally very apparent where professionals have to offer like to charge for consultancy. And I know it's a challenge even in my current my current workplace. I'm always challenged. A client comes to you, they're looking for information. You want to show them that you can deliver, so you want to give them this information, but you don't want to give this information for free because it's valuable. It also costs you money to have the information. So how are you going to charge consultation fee? How are you going to package this consultation fee so that they pay you, they're willing to pay you without feeling like you're stealing from them? And I know this is one of the biggest challenges lawyers face, probably even engineers, architects. People want you to describe to them how you're going to design that house. And then now, and of course, when you have when you have given too much information, they go for the cheapest person because they already know what it needs to be done. So what do? It's important to first of all educate. So see what you need to teach. Educate first, share an insight, and then you reduce the uncertainty. And that basically helps now for clients to be able, even they come and they're willing to pay you. They are asking, so how much should I pay for consultation? Tell me X, Y, Z. And how do you achieve that? That is why we have thought leadership. And you can display your thought leadership through the content you share in your profiles, in your social media, in the publications you do. When you see professionals appearing on TV or in panels, it's basically the idea of thought leadership, to create this, to show that you have value to offer before people can start paying for it. And it makes clients to think better of you, even when they don't buy from you, because again, they'll promote you. They'll say, okay, if you want a good engineer, talk to so and so. I see him on TV. I read his articles. I see what he posts on social media. So yeah. So, and you see now in the plan I had said, you need to decide what content you're going to share, where, and how often. Clear positioning. So it also, now this comes with the people need to put you in a place. So it's very, very important for you to be known for a certain idea. The principle is, if you're not clearly positioned, you are commodities, you're selling commodities, and selling commodities is not so easy. So define who you serve best. I serve, maybe I am a children's family lawyer or something, and even within that I can break it down and say I specialize on custody issues and all that. You break them down in such a way when you're communicating. Define what you do better or differently. Also, let it be known, because obviously, if you're positioned as a family lawyer versus a generalist, and there's someone who has a custody issue coming to you, highly likely that they will take you than the generalist. So even if you can offer everything else, because you have expertise, you can. But it's important to choose what will you be talking about, what will you be pushing, because now that becomes your main revenue, your main revenue, your stream. It becomes what positions you. It becomes what people know you for. So it's important, even if you do all those other things, it's important to have that particular one that you choose, that you will talk about that. And it's also cheaper for you in terms of resources to do that than try to position yourself as an everything. So then now at that point, then you are able to define your client. So by the clear positioning really, really comes when you're doing your planning. So for instance, you could say, saying that I'm an expert in public sector transaction advisory in East Africa is easy to buy than saying we offer advisory services. Because you see, advisory services are so open. There are many, they're all over. But if I'm looking for an advisor for a transaction If the government is looking for an advisor for a transaction, their IPO, their pipeline IPO, and that is how you positioned yourself, probably you'll be more believable than just saying that we offer advisory services. If you talk about being in East Africa, you will be more believable and people will come to you more than if you just say offer advisory services. It could be anywhere. So these are some of the things that people look at when they're deciding to buy. And then differentiation matters. So positioning and differentiation really, really go hand in hand. So the principle is difference must be meaningful to the client. It's not a difference that, it has to make sense to the client. So differentiation should reduce risk, cost, and complexity. So, and that is where now understanding your client is what are the risks, what are they willing to pay, and how are they going through the process of buying it. And then, so don't use things like logos and slogans. Those really don't really help. It's important to have them, of course, as your branding collateral, but don't think that because I have a specific logo now, it's gonna be the end of it. No. Or my slogan, you really need to find it and communicate what it is. So how do you do it? Sharing information on if you've developed something proprietary, frameworks, of course, you before you start sharing it all over, it's important to protect it. If you have that, it's really good because people come to, they know it belongs to you. There's also the idea of specialization, sector specialization. I know the fear of specialization for most professionals is that, oh, I'm running myself too thin. But as I said, you can offer all those other things, but in your communication, it could be good to have a place where you're specialized in. And those ones who've been able to specialize actually know the importance of specialization, because now you become an expert, you're able to even charge a premium, you become the go-to person. Starting out specialization is very difficult, but as you move forward, it actually becomes the best thing that you ever do for your profession. Regulatory insight. Today, there is no sector that is not is not affected by regulation. None at all. And regulation is something that people don't understand. So it's not a preserve of the lawyers only. Even consultant doctors, there is something about regulations, compliance, the best practice that you can share. And this really is one thing that also helps to differentiate you. Or you can have a unique delivery model that maybe is very fast, that is cheaper. So those are the things that really differentiate you from any other and sets you apart. So what else do you need to do in marketing yourself is the building of the trust and credibility. I cannot overemphasize that. So how do you do it? Case studies. And I said in the previous webinar, I said you can make them anonymous. Just describe that there was an issue like this that I handled in this way. And so it's also important to choose the case studies, yeah, so that also it's not obvious whom you're talking about. That it's easy for people to pinpoint and say, this is that case for I don't know which company. Then they could sue you. You could run into trouble. So it's important. So when you're sharing your case studies, it's good to be anonymous. Or on the other hand, you can actually seek approval, especially corporates allow you to do that. You can seek approval to share a case study, references like what you've done before, expert visibility, of course, on where you share your content, on where you appear, and then consistency in messaging across touch points. And consistency in messaging is even the style of your communication. Because, while, there's play, just given an example, for instance, if you look at this, the TikTokers or the influencers of today, there is a way someone like Eric Omondi communicates or does his adverts. When you see them, this is Eric Omondi's name. Even if he's not present, you can say, that one looks like what Eric Omondi would do, or what, say, Awinja would do, as compared to what Nameless and Wahoo are doing right now, or Anthony Kibe. or Obatalai, it's important that you're consistent. So even if you choose someone to promote you, it's better that you choose someone you stay with for all the time, so that you're not sending mixed messages. Remember, your messages are read through it's not only what you write or say, it's even how you deliver it. And people associate some wording, even the font that you use, the colors that you use, all those are important, because now, for instance, if today you see maybe Safaricom, mpaka, in fact, it's called nowadays, it's called the Safaricom green or the KCB green, that kind of consistency. So those small things, they look small, but they really, really do make a difference. And then consistency over time. So marketing is built through repetition and not campaigns. So you'll find sometimes maybe you're running just one campaign and people forget about it. People easily forget. So there is the principle of repetition, and this is a lot in advertising. It's actually a principle that is used in advertising, that the more I repeat, the more you keep on repeating, the more it sticks into the people, the interest in the people's minds. And that is why planning comes, because now you need to know, I need to be sharing content every week or every quarter. A quarter is far apart, but also it depends on what you're sharing. But that is why it's important to plan, because what am I sharing, how, and so how often should I do it? And this basically is what creates consistency. So if you decide to have a blog, let it be consistent. If you decide to be commenting about issues on your LinkedIn, let it be consistent. What are you commenting on? And how often? Is it weekly? Is it something? Because you find, I'm sure there's some things that you always look forward to reading or checking. This is Friday, so and so shares an article, I have to read it. So regular insights, and they're important because that is what creates a sticking in the mind for your clients. And then focus and trade-offs principle. Do not try to appeal to everyone. And I have mentioned this. So choose your markets, choose your sectors, choose the problems. And then how do you do it? Say no to sometimes you have to say no to some opportunities that were in markets that you don't dominate, you're not dominant in. So say no to some opportunities so that you can stay in a place and dominate that. So if you choose a niche, if you choose a particular audience to be talking to, make sure that you're top of the mind, like you're there. So now those are the things you look at, even on your LinkedIn, what you're sharing to them. When they have events, now those are the places you want to be in the panel or a keynote speaker. If they're facing some issues, you want to be the one commenting, the first one, because now there people are like, okay, if I'm reading from so and so, it is authentic. And then I shared about the buyer journey, the awareness, consideration. So some of them will call it consideration, I call it interest, decision, action, and then of course, with action comes loyalty. So know the buyer journey. Know if this client is shopping, if this client is at the point of making a decision, if this client is at the point of buying, and you align to it. So you need to, even when you're doing your planning or you're executing your tactics, you need to have an activity for your buyers at every stage. So my buyers who are at awareness stage, what am I doing? I am just sharing insights on social media. So my buyers who are at the point of interest, what am I doing? I have a website, and the website clearly shows what I have. I have a blog that is talking about what the solutions that I have. I have case studies that I have shared. I have, of course, there are many things you can do, but that I am doing for those clients who are at the interest stage. And when they're at the interest stage, this is where they're looking for information. So those ones who are making a decision, so at the point where maybe now they're bringing in other people, or they want to make the decision to buy, what do I have? I have maybe even the content. How is it structured? Again, case studies are important here. Referrals, so they can refer. So I throw in names here and there. So say, oh, they have served Safaricom, so they can serve me. Such kind of things. And then, of course, not the point of purchase. After they've purchased, you also need to create loyalty. Don't allow your clients to buy from you once and disappear, even if it feels like remote that they'll never come back. So that is at the point where you remember to keep their contacts and probably once in a year drop them Christmas messages, So all this, you see, all those are marketing things that you do. Probably you have been doing, but you've really not known what it means and why you should be doing them anyway. Like customer service week, you see people, everybody running up and down. Hello, I'm buying my customers this. At the end of the year, I'm buying them gifts. Ramadan has just started, and of course, we have this special consideration for our Muslim clients, and we are thinking, oh, maybe we take them dates and do what? Why are you doing that? At what point are they in the journey? So why is it important to do that? And then, of course, now at that point of also creating loyalties, you know how much effort you're putting into it. So again, planning comes and the execution. From planning, you know how to execute. So finally, I get to the point of talking about sales. So your sales should be integrated with your marketing. In this particular explanation, I have assumed that the person who's doing sales is different from the person who's doing marketing. If I look at it from a professional service point of view, most professionals, even the bigger ones, will not be able to have a different sales team. So the service deliverer, the rainmaker, the professional provider, so the partner, the associates, are basically the people who do the sales. So even in organizations where you find that maybe they have a different marketing team, so you find like right now for many companies, the firms, how they structure is that they probably have someone else doing their social media marketing for them. So that's what they call marketing. I mentioned that social media is a very small facet of marketing, but anyway, on the ground, that is how many organizations execute it. So you have someone who's doing your social media marketing, and they're not aligned with the partners or the associates. So then they're talking about something different, promoting and sharing. You people don't even know what they share. You don't even know how they're structuring the communication. So it's important for the person who is doing your marketing in whatever form, whether you have a full marketing agency you're working with, or you just have the social media person or consultant. It's important for you to know, to share with them information and even your leads. I am in the ICT department of government, and I'm trying to sell my software to them. Can you talk more about the software and all that, So yes, it's important. And then also you need to sync. Once you know who your leads are, your prospects are, and so what does success mean to you or to the person who's doing the marketing? So the two need to be synced. And then long-term orientation. So as I said, don't do it randomly and once. Think about doing it in the long term. When you start marketing, you cannot get conversions even if you've not been deliberately doing your marketing. When you start doing it, it will not even show results in 3 months, even 6 months. Normally it takes about a year. And so you have to be consistent. And then in that point now, then you need to think long term. So, and you also know that strong brands are not built over one day. You can't shout about your brand for 1 week and expect it's gonna be a strong brand. So it has to be consistent. And so invest in your reputation, invest in insights, share insights, invest in relationships, beyond immediate revenue. Don't always ignore that this person doesn't look like they're gonna buy now, then you leave them alone. So you need to be consistent. I can give an example, like once in a certain audit firm that I worked in, I was the marketing person, and for a year, because when I did my plan and the clients that they wanted to, some of the sectors that they wanted to focus on was the circles. And for a whole year, I We went to the circles. We responded to their RFQs. We responded to their requests for proposals, and every time we got rejected for more than a year, until one day even the partner in a meeting, I was explaining, oh, we've done this we've done this, we've responded to the following EOIs, we've been pre-qualified in this number of companies, we have done this number of proposals. It's like, I do not even want to hear that. They're empty. You actually call them empty. But by the time a year and a half later, when now they started converting, they became the go-to people, the auditors for circles, because it was almost certain that wherever they put the application, they got that job. And it is still the same process of pre-qualification, RFQs and all that. So it's important to think long-term other than short-term. And also to just defend that is, in sales, they say at any time when you go selling, it is only 3% who are ready to buy at that time. So you need to nurture the 97%. So yeah, so that's the end. I hope you're ready to start developing your plan. I was thinking, I said the plan, I thought the slides were a few 13 that I'd finish in a half, but yes, I am that typical marketer who talks and talks. So thank you for listening. Over to you, Eric.
Thank you so much, Dawn. That was very educational, and I'm sure viewers, both those watching live and the recorded version later, will get a lot out of it. As you have heard, that is marketing. You have both parts. You can go and you can read through them. Dawn has left her information there. In case you need somebody to develop your marketing plan, she's the person. One of the points was exhibit expertise in what you're doing. And I believe this webinar has exhibited her expertise in her ability to help you and the organization come up with a proper marketing plan. And on that same note, just encouraging others out there who may want to exhibit their expertise. This webinar series provides you an opportunity to do that. So I welcome you in whatever area or field you're involved in. Please get in touch with me so that we can come up with a future webinar for you. Coming up in March is a webinar on matters graphics design. And in April, we have a webinar in matters construction. Details of these two will be shared closer to the dates with the presenters, their bios, and what to expect from them. Before we close, there was one question from the previous webinar. I don't know, Dawn, if you want to touch on that.
Oh, yes, yes. So there's a question that was asked with the changes in marketing. Eric, can you just read it again? I'm not sure I wrote it down or I can retrieve it quickly enough.
Let me just get to it. How do I market myself now as a marketing consultant, given times have changed?
Okay. I thought about the question, how do I market myself given times have changed? Principles of marketing still remain the same, even though times have changed. Probably the platforms are what have changed. So I believe the process I've taken you through today would help you to go back and see what are you doing so you can do it differently. So if you can, first of all, know who your customers, who your clients or your target market is, what do they want? How much are they willing? The marketing plan. First do your plan. Then after you've done your plan, then you can know what do you want to do to showcase yourself and to influence your customers to buy from you. So are you going to share more content? How are you going to package that content? Where are you going to put it? If customers have moved to getting information online as opposed to newspaper ads, then you need to go online. If your clients are the young generation and they like TikTok and Snapchat, that is where you need to go and you move away from FB. Yeah, I hope I've answered you.
Thank you for that response. I don't see any other questions. That said, Dawn has left her information there. If you have any other questions on marketing, feel free to reach out to her. More importantly, if you have marketing needs, please feel free to engage her. She has shown her expertise, and I believe she will give you value for money in whatever endeavor you have that needs a marketing plan. With that said, I wish you a wonderful evening. Have a good night. Until the next webinar edition, this is it from us, Eric Gitonga hosting you, and Don Marie presenting on marketing. Bye-bye.
Bye.